Hey everybody, we are on week 2 and I hope you are doing great. Haven't gotten a whole lot of questions, so I'm assuming nobody's having any issues with accessing the videos or the meal plans and what have you. I will confess, I had my cheat day yesterday and definitely felt awful this morning. So there is something to this, particularly the anti-inflammatory eating. Loaded up with gluten last night, and today again, swollen fingers. You'd think I'd learned this lesson, but when in Rome, so to speak. So we're going to focus on some very functional exercises today. The first one being the hip hinge. And this really focuses on the stabilizing muscles of your hips, which affect gait, mobility, and can also, everything is connected. So whether it's your low back, your hips, your knees, if one thing is not functioning properly, if that little gluteus medius muscle is not doing its job, then you're going to have overcompensation from some of the other muscles. And even if it's in the same group, the gluteus maximus, medius minimus, you don't want one to dominate. And I mean, you've got minimus, which is baby, medius, which is mama bear, and maximus, which is papa bear. So it's obviously which one, naturally is going to be stronger. So we want to focus on those smaller muscle groups. To recap from last week, we were talking about, shoulder stability, shoulder stabilization, and how as we stretch the chest and simultaneously contract, isometrically work the back muscles, we work on shoulder stability. So today we're going to be talking about the lower half. Now, I have a yoga block here. You can get one at Target or probably TJ Maxx for less than $10. Order it on Amazon. You can do this on your staircase as well, but for the purposes of this video, this is what we're using. Now, I have this by the wall. I'm sure that I can do this freestanding because I have decent balance, but if you are challenged with balance, you definitely don't want to start on that. And, particularly not on the steps. Usually with the stairs, we have a railing that we can hold on to, but I've got this set up so that I can lean against the wall, and I want to place one foot, very, very stable in the center here, making sure that it's centered, okay? And I want to kind of do this turned out a little bit just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm actually elevating this hip and then dropping it down. So basically I'm like touching the floor, I'm lifting up. Now notice this other leg is bending and straightening. So I'm kind of doing a mini one-leg squat, which is great. I can squeeze my gluteal muscles, as I'm coming up. So I'm getting that workout here. But then I've got to lift my hip up, drop it down, lift it up. So as my right leg straightens, my left hip is elevating, and I'm drawing my belly button towards my spine. And I'm going to try and do, I've lost count, but I'm going to aim for 10 to 12 of these. So let's just call that 12. Okay? Catch your breath. We'll go around to the other side. Give you a little different vantage point here. All right, I'm getting my foot centered. So again, I'm doing that one leg squat, lifting my hip up. The foot goes down to the floor, the hip goes up. So a little bit of coordination going on here. You're inhaling down, you're exhaling up. Focus on right here, and definitely don't hold your breath. Doing the talk test, like I'm doing, is a good way to remain aerobic because it is with oxygen. When you cannot speak fluidly while you're exercising, that usually means you're going into an anaerobic, which is without oxygen state. 2 more of these. Perfect. Now, not everybody is going to be able to do 10 to 12. That's okay. Do what you can do. You can do these every day if you want because we're not adding a load. Now, eventually, if you want to hold a weight while you're doing that, no problem at all. You could use a band, you could use a dumbbell, and we'll slowly add on to that. But for now, I want to keep it pretty simple because we're just on our 3rd workout, and we've got, what do we have? 6 more weeks to go. So we have a lot of progression. You can do multiple sets. You can do them throughout the day. I like to leave these things laying around in a place that I'm not going to injure myself, of course, or trip over it, which I am very likely to do. Because then throughout the day, I see it and I'm like, oh yeah, do that quick set. Remember, we don't have to do a half hour or an hour all at once. Bite-sized little nuggets. Just get that 5 minutes in multiple times a day, and you're going to meet that requirement. Now, your minimum or your recommended minimum for cardiovascular training is 150 minutes of low to moderate intensity exercise, cardiovascular exercise per week. This, sure, it's going to get your heart rate up, but that doesn't really count towards that. This is more your strength training, your functional movement. So I like to fit these in throughout the day so it doesn't really take away from the other things you have to do, and you don't feel like, oh God, I have to do that exercise, because it is done. All right, so hip hinges, it's going to be great for your gait, for your stability, for your balance, and your core.